everyone. Today I am going to be working on my December daily album. I am just starting, so this is the first process video for my December daily. I did do a video describing the supplies that I plan to use, so you can find that. I'll link that below. But this is the first time where I'm actually going to get to work in the album. So I have a 4x6 album. This is it. And I'm going to start by doing a cover page. Right now my plan is to use this transparency. It came in the A Beautiful Mess kit that I bought earlier this year. And it's just got little white trees on it. I cut it down. It was 9 by 12. I cut it down to be the size of the page protector. Actually just slightly larger than the page protector. So it will just go directly into the album. I will punch holes right here. And I want to add the year to this. I'm not planning on putting December or December daily. I think I just want the year, and I'm thinking right now some kind of star. So I pulled out some options. My original idea was to use this one and then to maybe paint it or emboss it or something like that. But I think it might be just a little too big. It just feels so much bigger than the printed trees on here that I think it's just a little out of proportion. So I went back to my stash and looked to see what else I could find. And here are some options. So I have these little asterisks or stars, also from A Beautiful Mess, I believe. And those maybe look a little bit too small. I also have this star that's from Ellie Studio, but again, I think it might just be a little bit too small. And then I remembered I had these from a former Studio Calico kit, but that I don't think is much bigger than the Ellie Studio one. But I do really like the silver. But then there's this one, which is something I've had in my stash for a really long time. And I think I just got it at Michael's or some big box craft store like that. But I kind of like that one. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with this one. And then I pulled these glittery alphas to use as my number to put 2017 just below it. So I am going to put you on fast forward and get these all stuck together, and then come back and talk about the next step. Okay, so there it is. This is my sort of title page for this year's album. I know the next thing I want in here is something in a full 4x6 pocket to kind of give this a background to sit against, so that it's not so busy behind there and you can really see the trees and the year and everything on here very clearly. And I've pulled these three things out to try. I was thinking I really like the idea of including the entire color palette, but I'm not real crazy about the white space. So I found this sheet from the Kelly Purkey kit, and I do really like that, but I was worried it might be a little too busy, so I also pulled this one to see what I thought of that. I especially liked it being behind the trees and being green, but I think I like this kind of rainbow one best. Okay, so I'm just gonna cut that down to 4 by 6. Should already be 6 inches. We just need to cut it to 4. And of course I could do the bottom half of that, but I think I like the pink. So I can just slip that in. And there you go. There is the cover of my album. So before I move on to day 1, I do want to add a intentions page to my album. I think it's important to really remember why it is that I choose to do this project every year, and what it means to me and what I'm trying to accomplish or focus on throughout the month. So I went ahead and printed out my reason why. I just used the reason why in Allie's handwriting from her website. And then I did this in Photoshop and just typed out my reason why, and then just put a really light box around it so that when I printed it I would know where the borders are. So I'm going to cut this out and then slip this on the back here, and I'm not sure if I'm going to do any other embellishment here or just leave it as is. And then on this side I want to put another full page, just kind of a filler page before I get to day 1. And so for that, I've pulled out a few things here. I really wanted to use this Marian Bright because I feel like that really goes along well with my reason why and why I do this album, to focus on all the things that are cheerful and happy and worth remembering about this month. And then I chose a full sheet of this kind of dark teal blue paper that matches the reason why, the color of the reason why, and I actually pulled that from this collection in Photoshop. I just picked the color and then filled this to match. So I thought it would be nice to use a paper that had that color. So I grabbed this one, and then this is just a tag that I had pulled from my stash. I think it's actually a Dear Lizzie from an older Dear Lizzie collection. So I thought somehow I would kind of put all of these together, and I've grabbed some washi and some other little bits as well, and we will just see what happens. So the first thing I'm going to do is just trim down the sheet that I printed, my reason why, and because I already have those guidelines on there, it's really easy to just make sure that I get it exactly to 4 by 6 so it'll fit in the pocket. And then I'm just going to trim down this other sheet as well, down to 4 inches. It's already 6 inches wide, so I just need to trim it down to 4, and then it will fit perfectly. And I'm going to slip that in there. I'm not real sure yet if I'm going to do any more embellishing to it, but for now I'm just going to keep it in the pocket. That way I won't lose it in the mess of my desk. And I'm pretty sure I want that this tag and the little card that says Marian Bright on the card this way. That's kind of how I've had it in my head, so I'm going to at least start with that. But I'm not really sure how I want to embellish this yet. When I started with the washi tape, but then I remembered that I had the chipboard sheet. I really like those trees on the washi, and I knew that there was a piece of chipboard on the chipboard sheet that matched it, that had the little trees on it as well. And I just ran away for a minute to get some twine before I start sticking things down. I want to make sure that I add twine to that tag. And I had a couple options, but I chose this pink and red twine. It's super old. I think I originally, it was a Martha Stewart twine, and then I just put it on that little spool myself just to keep it organized a bit better. And so I'm going to start sticking these down since I know that I want them there. And cut off the little excess of the tag. And then there's that tree chipboard piece, and I really like the way it looks there. So I'm going to try this washi that matches it as well, but I can't really seem to find a place where it looks okay. I think it if I put it over the top, it covers too much of the Marian Bright. If I put it underneath, then you can't see the trees on the washi. So I'm going to just try something else. So I ran away for a minute to grab some uh, little word phrase stickers. I knew I had some that matched that teal blue, that dark teal blue that I had just gotten. So I went to find those, and there they are. They're Studio Calico. I actually got them from the Black Friday sale, so I'm not sure if they were with a kit originally, but I just bought the sheet individually. So I found a couple phrases that I think will work, and I'm sticking those down here, just getting them spaced correctly, and then I'm gonna stick down the chipboard piece as well. And now I'm going to add some of these little puffy stickers. I love these so much. I already wish that I had purchased multiple sets because I can see myself uh, totally using these up within the first few days of my album. So I'm going to put 3 of them on here, do a little visual triangle on this card, and that kind of adds in the rest of the colors that are in this album as well. And I'm thinking about putting some on that Reason Why sheet now. Um, just to tie it in. It looks really stark next to the page I've just created. So I think I do need to add something to it to embellish it a little bit. I'm just trying to figure out what exactly. And then I remember that I have these super old foam snowflake. Oh, there's my head. Excuse me. So I have these really old foam glitter snowflakes that I've had for forever, and I think they just came from Walmart or something like that. But they are the exact color of that dark teal blue, so I'm going to put one of those at the top there. And because they're foam, you can kind of adjust them and stretch them and make them fit however you want to. So that's what I was doing, just getting it exactly where I wanted it. And then I think I'll add one of these little puffy stickers right next to it. But first I'm going to add a second snowflake. I just went to grab another one, and I'm going to add it at the bottom of the page. Because they're so old, the sticky doesn't really stick. It's not very adhesive anymore. So I'm just adding a little bit of tape runner to it to make sure that it'll stay in place. And I'm not sure where I've gone this time. Oh, that's right. So I went to grab some enamel dots. I'm already thinking about hoarding those puffy stickers, so I went to get some enamel dots to see if I could make those work instead. But they just weren't quite the right colors. So I'm going to add 2 little puffy stickers to each of these snowflake clusters to do a little triangle on each end of the card. And I'm hanging 2 of them off the page a little bit, so I need to trim those down. And I think that does it. I think, oh, I need to attach the end of that twine and tuck it under the card, and then add a little bit more adhesive to the edge of the card or the tag that is, to make it stay in place. And that is it. That is my intentions page and beginning pages of my album all done. Thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I will see you back here soon.